Hello, my name is Jorge Patrono. I'm from Argentina. I'm a music producer, television producer. I've been working on this in the entertainment industry for more than 40 years. And I live in Los Angeles for the past 36 years. My mission right now is to inform the global Hispanic community of all the advances in science and spirituality, things that we can use today to improve our life and to create a better world. Everything that I learn in entertainment now is becoming edutainment. It's entertainment with the purpose of educating. And I think it's the best way to educate because actually it's fun, it's different, okay? It's not static, it's not hard. It's based on the experience. We can experience everything that we talk about in science and spirituality. It's not something that we have to really learn a lot or study a lot. We have to experience it. We have to, once we learn something, we have to put it into practice. Now, I was born in a family where my mother was a hypochondriac. She was very sick when I was a kid, and I was always very sick. That's why my focus is on health, because actually I believe that when we are healthy, we can be creative. When we are sick, we are thinking all the time about the sickness, and that's not a creative state. The best way to create is to feel good, to feel that we have energy. Creation demands energy, and you know, when we are sick, it's like the only thing we can think about is how can I get rid of this disease. Now, for the past 12 years, I've been reading and looking for information that I could use for myself and my family and my friends to keep my health in the highest form. And for me, as I said before, it's very important. That's why every time I find something that is good, that I can, you know, practice myself and I see the results, I promote it. And one of the things that really changed my whole life was the book of a biologist called Dr. Bruce Lipton. And his book is amazing, is The Biology of Belief. That book changed completely my vision about health and sickness and put me in a place of power. Because actually, he's talking about the power of our emotions. And there are two main emotions, fear and love. Love creates the chemicals reactions in the body that creates health. And fear, on the other side, creates all the chemicals that makes us sick. Now, if we understand that, one of the things that we have to put attention to is what is the emotion that predominates on my daily life? Am I, you know, serious all every day? I'm fighting with the environment. How many times I feel love, for example, during the day? How many times I feel anger, or jealousy, or anguish? Those are emotions that we can feel, but for a very short period of time, because those create diseases. Those are causes of diseases. Now, we tend to work with the effects. A headache, a problem in my stomach, whatever it is, it's an effect. If we don't change the cause, it's coming back and over. And every time it comes back, it's worse than before. Now, one of the things that we have to also understand is what we really are. We believe that the body is what we really are, and it's not. It's a complete lie. The body is a vehicle, and as a vehicle, it gives the soul the possibility of having an expression and understanding this space where we live right now, which is the third dimension, and it's dual, it's positive and negative, so it has two polarities, and we based everything in this solid, what we believe is solid. And we believe it's solid because actually our body has 5 interfaces. It's an interface with 5 senses. Those 5 senses can understand a very little of the reality that we are seeing here, okay? Very little as 1 grain of salt against a building of 100 stories. So that is what we can interpret from this, because we have just those 5 senses that are very limited, very, very limited. And using that, we want to explain everything. It's impossible, completely impossible. So the moment we understand that the vehicle is not me, and we understand that inside this vehicle there's a lot of information and intelligence and light and energy and frequencies, then we understand that we are much more than the physical body. How can we use that information? Okay, first of all, to see a body the way we see it, we need a lot of energy concentrated. And the amount of energy is so big, each cell, it has 1.4 volts. And we have trillions, 50 trillions of cells. Imagine the amount of volts that we have in our body. We can compare this with we can illuminate with that energy one day the city of Chicago, if we change that energy into energy that we can use, okay, outside the body. So that's the amount of energy that we have. Immense. Now, at the same time, we have frequencies. Frequency, the heart has a frequency, the brain has a frequency. This is a magnetic frequency, this is electric frequency. Both together is electromagnetic field, and that's the way we read the environment. And we read the environment and we see, I like this, I feel good here, I feel bad there, because this it goes beyond the thought. It's much faster than the thought. It's something that is telling us what the environment is showing us, how we are working with the environment. Now, there's something called coherence. And coherence means I feel and I think the same thing. The problem now is that a lot of people, the majority of people, are completely incoherent, because when we feel that we are in fear, and everybody is in fear right now since the COVID and all the things that are happening, wars and everything, that fear produces a dichotomy between the heart and the brain. And when that happens, it's like having a radio station that we want to listen. For example, we turn the dial to the radio station that is for classical music. And we move it a little more, and actually the radio is playing rap music. Usually what we do when that happens in our life, we criticize the rap. And the rap is not a problem. The problem is that we put the wrong radio. We are in charge. We can change the radio station. But we don't think that we have that power. We think that we are victims of the environment. No, we are creating that environment when we put the wrong frequency. The only thing we have to change is change the frequency. Now, how do I know in what frequency I'm transmitting? Because this is an antenna that sends and receives information from the quantum field, God, or whatever you want to call it. But it's an intelligence that is always sending information based on the information that we send, the frequency that we are sending. It's the radio station, as I said before. So if I put the radio station of classical music, it will send me Mozart. But if I put the station of rap, it will send me whatever that is, Puff Diddy, whatever. So the thing is this, it has all the possibilities on it. I choose the one that I want. Now, how many times I'm choosing that, and how many times I'm just trying to be part of the environment, and even though it's not what I want, even though it's not really it makes me feel good, and I still do it, okay? That's one of the problems that we are living right now, and that's why 80% of the people have some kind of disease. Now, how can we change this? There's something called heart-brain coherence. It's what I feel and what I think, what I say and what I do. It has to be all in a correlation, and it has to flow. When that flows, it's like a laser beam of what I'm doing. It's just one frequency, very strong. And that frequency brings exactly what I need. It will be a phone call, people, whatever it is in this environment will favor that frequency that I'm sending. Now, there's something that I do, and I read, the life of Tesla or Einstein, or different Royal Rife, and they did the same thing, and I learned from them, actually, which is the first thing and the last thing during the day, the attention that I put, the idea that I put in the first thing in the morning, for example, something that I want to create in my life, that idea is influencing my whole day if I keep it. So the situations that I'm going to encounter during that day are going to be related to that idea that I thought in the beginning of the day in a state of coherence. It means that I have an idea, for example, in my case, I was doing a documentary, and before I knew that I was going to do a documentary, and I've never done it before, I had these interviews, 100 interviews, and I put together 27 specialists and 13 topics. And I didn't know that I was doing a documentary, but I asked a question, what can I do with this? And I did it that way, in the morning and last thing at night. And when I did that for a couple of days, there's something called the circadian rhythm, which is when we go to sleep, the sun goes down, and now our interface feels that it has to go to sleep to recharge. And when you go to sleep, the whole night, the dream state or the sleep state is not always in a linear form. It's a sine wave. It goes down, so deep sleep, and up, which is in the surface. We are sleeping. We are not, deep in the sleep. That is the circadian rhythm. Now, at 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning is the soft dream. Is the one that is not very deep, and is when we receive this information about the question that we ask. Okay, for example, how can I use all this information? What can I do with this? And it came to me a documentary, and it came to me also the title, Your Life, Your Creation, and I didn't know at that time what it was. Your Life, Your Creation. I said, wow, it's a documentary. Yes, a documentary. And how can I do this? Put this together? So it was a process of a couple of years until I finished that. But when I finished, I realized that I didn't do it. Okay, it was just information that I sent to the quantum field, and it came back. And when it came back, it gave me exactly what I needed to finish the project. Now, if we conduct our lives from that perspective, everything will flow in a way that is amazing. The point on this is the last thing during the night when we go to sleep, before we go to sleep, instead of watching TV and watching the news or watching, a fight or whatever it is, just don't watch anything and think about what you want to experience in your life, what you want to create, what you want to bring into this reality. In my case, I feel it's a mission of bringing this information to the global Hispanic community. And that's my purpose. Having a purpose, it gives you like a compass. You know where the north is, and you can go towards that north. In my case was this. I finished the documentary, and after that, I realized that I could use that formula for anything in my life, anything. To cure myself, to do whatever I want to do, to do the next project, even though if I don't know how to do it. There was something that happened a couple of years ago that I realized when I was reading about how they discover the way to use insulin for the diabetics. And it was a doctor that found information analyzing, dissecting the pancreas of a dog, a dead dog. And he said, how in the world this person had that idea that doing that, it will get something so good as the insulin, that helped millions of people all over the world. So when we think about that, it's like we don't need to know, we need to ask the question of what we want to manifest. What is my mission? Then go towards that and then ask the right question. Now, the right question is, what can I do? How can I do it? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Because those are open questions, and what is happening to me is a repetition, is a loop of something that I don't want. So the moment I'm saying that, my life is not going to change. It's going to be worse. Actually, it's a spiral down. So we have to be very careful about our questions, okay? There's something that says the quality of our life is related to the quality of our questions daily. And I believe that, on that 100%. If I'm asking questions to myself that are negative all the time, my life is going to be a disaster. And we are living in a state of survival mode. Survival is not the way we were created to live like. I mean, we are creators, not survivors. Being a survivor means that we see everything dark. Everything is bad. Everything is not for us. Everything is difficult. I know people that live flowing amazingly well. I mean, they have an idea, and in minutes or hours, they are manifesting that. And we all have that same power. Now, we live in a moment right now that we need another way to see reality. And when we talk about kids that are coming to this world with differences in the way they perceive the world, in the way they think, in the way they communicate, and we think like they have some kind of disease, that's completely wrong. It's completely wrong. We have to think about that as an opportunity of understanding what they see, what they hear, what they can absorb from this reality. And I have friends that they have kids with autism, different degrees. One of them cannot communicate at all. He lives in his own world, but he is writing all the time and writing formulas and numbers and things that nobody else understands except for scientists. So there's something that boy came to do here that is helping us in a different way. Now, imagine if we think about, if we think about this kid as a kid that is not normal, let's put it that way. And we hide that information that he has. We hide the power that he has to create these formulas and things. We are losing an amazing information for everybody, okay? We need to understand why they are here, and they are here because they are messengers. They bring information to us, and we need to take care of them. The moment that we live right now, we are not going to fix the problem that we are living in right now thinking the same way. Einstein said it. He says the problems, that the way that created the problems will never fix the problem. We need to think out of the box, and these kids are completely out of the box. So we have to work with them, and we have to understand when they cannot feel the same way as we do in the same environment. The environment is just, a place where we can survive or we can thrive. The moment that we are surviving only and not thriving, we are doing something wrong, or we are not doing something, okay? In this case, I believe that we have an amazing chance of evolving because of the information that these kids are bringing is of paramount importance. So bless them, take care of them. It's an amazing opportunity for us to move forward as humanity. Thank you, Rita Hernandez. Thank you, Aspika. The work that you're doing is amazing and it's necessary, and it's an honor for me to be here today.